Hello, children. Welcome in class 11th English, chapter 3 Discovering Tut, the saga continues. Written by A.R. Williams. A.R. Williams, or Anne Williams, a former senior writer for National Geographic magazine and online news. It was here that she discovered the various wonders of the world for almost 3 decades. Her specialization is in the field of archaeology, about which she writes features about places varying from Egypt to as far as Alaska. These appear as a monthly piece for the Ancient World section of the National Geographic magazine. She also writes about any new discoveries that take place. Discovering Tut is the story which deals with the mysteries and various theories regarding the life and death of the youngest ruler of ancient Egypt, Tutankhamun. His tomb was discovered in 1922 by the famous archaeologist Howard Carter, and since then, his mummy has been subjected to X ray and later a CT scan. These investigations have answered a lot of questions and offered new clues on his life and death. King Tut was just a teenager when he died. He was the last heir of a powerful family that had ruled Egypt and its empire for centuries. He was buried and forgotten over the years. But after the discovery of his tomb in 1922, the modern world wondered about the cause of his untimely death. He was brought out of his tomb, and recently a CT scan was done to ascertain the reason of his death. On 5th of January 2005 at 6 pm, the world's most famous mummy was taken out from the burial tomb. As the mummy of King Tut was being put into the scanner for performing a CT scan, angry winds stirred and dark clouds covered the stars. The weather had been overcast all day and the night sky was hidden by dark clouds. The CT scan was being done to unearth the remaining medical mysteries that surrounded the untimely death of this young king who died more than 3300 years ago. King Tut's tomb lies 26 feet underground in the ancient Egyptian cemetery known as the Valley of the Kings. Tourists from around the world came to visit the tomb to pay their respects. They gazed at the murals on the walls of the burial chamber and looked at King Tut's gilded face on the lid of the outer coffin. The visitors were very curious and thoughtful. Some feared that the Pharaoh's curse would befall those who disturbed him. Howard Carter was a British archaeologist who in 1922 discovered King Tut's tomb after years of futile searching. Its contents remain the richest royal collection ever found. There were dazzling works of art in gold that had caused a sensation then and continue to draw people's attention even today. King Tut was also buried with everyday things such as board games, a bronze razor, cases of food, clothes, wine, etc., that he would need in the life after death. Zahi Hawass, who was Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, explained that the mummy was in a very bad condition because of what Howard Carter did to it. Howard Carter found King Tut's body in three nested coffins. In the first coffin, he found a shroud decorated with garlands of willow and olive leaves, wild celery, lotus petals, and cornflowers, which indicated that the burial took place in the month of March or April. When he finally reached the mummy, he was in deep problem. The ritual resins had hardened, cementing King Tut to the bottom of the solid gold coffin. It was very difficult to take out Tut's body from the coffin. Carter tried to loosen the resins by putting the mummy outside in the sunshine that heated the coffin up to 149 degrees Fahrenheit. For several hours, mummy was kept in blazing sunshine, but nothing happened. The ritual resin did not loosen up, and he found that it is not safe to leave Tut's body there like this only, because he was afraid that the robbers may come and loot the royal treasure which was buried with him. The royals in King Tut's time believed that King Tut and other kings could take their fortune with them after death. So King Tut was buried with all his expensive belongings. To separate King Tut from his ornaments, Howard Carter's men removed the mummy's head and cut off nearly every major joint. Then they reassembled the remains of the body on a layer of sand in a wooden box with padding. Again, in 1968, an anatomy professor x rayed the mummy and revealed a startling fact. He claimed that the breastbone and front ribs of the mummy were missing. Now, in 1968, by that time, archaeology has changed too much. They were focusing less on treasures and more on the fascinating details of life and fascinating mysteries of death. So, the anatomy professor x rayed the mummy and revealed a startling fact. King Tut's mummy was one of the first mummies to be scanned. The CT scan showed a grey head, neck vertebra, a hand, several images of the rib cage, and a section of the skull. The CT machine created 1700 digital X-ray images of his head, neck, and skull. After completing the scan, Tut's mummy was carried back to his tomb. King Tut is one of the mummy among many in Egypt. No one knows how many mummies there are in Egypt. The Egyptian Mummy Project has recorded almost 600 and is still counting. King Tut's mummy was the first mummy to be scanned to ascertain the secret of his death by a portable scanner donated by National Geographic Society and Siemens. King Tut's entire body was scanned. On the night of the scan, workmen carried him from the tomb and rose it on a hydraulic lift into a trailer that held the scanner. However, initially the costly scanner could not function properly because of sand in the cooler fan. But soon all the hurdles were crossed, and after the scan, the king was returned to his coffin to rest in peace. The CT scan showed an astonishing image of King Tut and his entire body very clearly. It showed a grey head, neck vertebra, a hand, several images of the rib cage, and a section of the skull. It was revealed that nothing had seriously gone wrong. As the technicians left the trailer, they saw the star constellation which the ancient Egyptians knew as the soul of Osiris, the god of the afterlife. They felt as if the god was watching over the boy king. Now, a brief summary of King Tut and his ancestors. King Tut's father or grandfather Amenhotep III was a powerful king who ruled for almost 4 decades. His son Amenhotep IV succeeded him. He was a very strange king. He promoted the worship of Aten, the sun disk, and changed his name to Akhenaten. He moved the religious capital from Thebes to Akhenaten, now known as Amrana. He shocked the country by attacking a major god, Amun, by breaking his images and closing down his temples. Ray Johnson, who is a director of the University of Chicago's Research Center in Luxor, called this king very odd. He was a wacky. He said it must have been a terrible time for the people because the family that had ruled for centuries was coming to an end. After Akhenaten's death, Ismenkhakre, a mysterious ruler, ruled for a brief period and departed with hardly any sign. It was then that a very young king, Tutankhaten, took over the throne. The boy soon changed his name to Tutankhamun, known as King Tut today. He oversaw revival of the old ways. King Tut ruled for 9 years and then died unexpectedly. The values which are highlighted in this chapter. It provides a deep insight into man's keen desire to know and analyze the roots of our civilization. It teaches how perseverance, patience, and hard work help man to solve the mysteries of the past and succeed in life. This chapter also teaches us the importance of learning valuable lessons from history and, more importantly, not repeating the mistakes made by our forefathers. We should respect our traditions and rituals and not follow them superstitiously. Here are some images from the Valley of Kings. You can see the murals, beautiful murals on the wall. These are the funerary treasures with which King Tut was buried. Some word meanings are given for you and some question answers are given. Hope you liked it. Thank you.